Hello friends, welcome to eTargati Access Education, where education is digitalized. So today we shall begin the daily Hindu newspaper analysis of August 17th, 2020. Now, e-module dwara we shall cover the Hindu newspaper in a sequential manner, just like how you're reading the newspaper with the relevant articles, their background information, which is curated by our expert team and explained with due diligence and effort taken to provide the best content for you. And this would be done in a real-time manner by which you మీకు హిందూ న్యూస్ పేపర్ కంప్లీట్ చేయడానికి ఎంత టైం అయితే పడుతుందో దాంట్లో హాఫ్ టైంలో మీకు ఆల్ రిలవెంట్ ఆర్టికల్స్ విచ్ ఆర్ యూస్ఫుల్ ఫర్ గ్రూప్ 1, గ్రూప్ 2, యూపీఎస్సీ అండ్ అదర్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్కి కవర్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. So without further ado, let us begin today's important articles from the Hindu paper. So we shall begin with the national news first, the headlines. Then we shall go for the state-specific AP news, which is useful for the Group 1 and Group 2 examinations. And then we shall wrap up the other news and like international affairs and so on. So the first news for today is a very important development, not only for Group 1 UPSC, but also for the general day-to-day life and the ongoing pandemic around us. So the US FDA has given a nod for rapid, inexpensive saliva tests. So this assures a high accuracy in detecting the presence of virus. So the article begins to say that in what could prove to be a game changer in the global battle against COVID, a rapid diagnostic test for novel coronavirus that uses saliva samples has been granted for emergency use authorization by the US FDA. So this test Peru, it's been given as Saliva Direct, and it has been developed by a team from the Yale School of Public Health. Now this has a very high sensitivity and it can detect the virus even when the number of copies are as low as 6 to 12 copies per microliter. So it has such a high sensitivity and it is also affordable. Like according to the US FDA, it could cost less than as little as $10 or less. And it has a high sensitivity of 88 to 94%, as you can see here. $10 or less and 88 to 94%. It has been developed by the Yale School of Public Health in association with the NBA, where their samples were tested. Now this can be done at home, self-administered, and it's sample collection. So as I was saying, in contrast, like generally ఇప్పుడు ఆర్టీపీసీఆర్ కానీ లేకపోతే మన యాంటీబాడీ టెస్ట్ కూడా కొన్ని ఏదైతే కానీ నేసోఫెరెంజైసల్ స్వాబ్స్ అంటే ముక్కులో పెట్టి కలెక్ట్ చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. కానీ దానివల్ల మనకి ఎర్రర్స్ రావచ్చు, ఫాల్స్ నెగటివ్ రిజల్ట్స్ కూడా రావచ్చు. So official data shows 88 to 94% sensitivity. And if you assume 90% sensitivity, it is still the most accurate test out there. So that is the most important takeaway from this article. And in continuation on page 8, another actually advantage మన ఈ తరగతితో ఏంటంటే ఇప్పుడు మీ న్యూస్ పేపర్ అటు ఇటు తిప్పి ఆర్ మీరు ఆన్లైన్ సర్చ్ చేసి ఇంకా అర్థం చేసుకుంటే ఆ టైం అంతా తగ్గించి మీకు అన్నీ ఒకే దగ్గర ఇవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దీని కంటిన్యూషన్లో ఏల్ రీసెర్చ్ ఏమంటున్నారంటే దెర్ బి అ గ్రేటర్ డిటెక్షన్ సెన్సిటివిటీ అండ్ కన్సిస్టెన్సీ త్రూ అవుట్ ద కోర్స్ ఆఫ్ అన్ ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ than the broadly recommended nasopharyngeal approach. So the testing protocol has been provided as open source ఇప్పుడు presently. ఎందుకంటే ఈ saliva direct ఏదైతే ఉందో ఇది it would be free to use by diagnostic labs. This is the most important development. That is the reason why the cost could be as little as $10 or less. So NGOs can apply for the license. And Yale has told this obviously in context of US situation. But for them, they have told that while the license will be free, if you represent a for-profit organization, we may issue a license. So that is how their business or socio-business model has been evolved. And again, to stress, the new test makes sample collection non-invasive and it reduces the need for trained health workers to collect the samples because it can be an at-home test also. ఇప్పుడు మనకి ఆర్టీపీసీఆర్ టెస్ట్ ఏదైతే జరుగుతుందో ఇండియాలో through ICMR guidelines, that is a nasopharyngeal sample where a swab is inserted into the back of the nostrils. So దీనివల్ల ఇరిటేషన్, స్నీజింగ్, కాఫింగ్ ఇవన్నీ అవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దిస్ కెన్ బి అన్కంఫర్టబుల్, డిస్కరేజింగ్ అండ్ సో ఆన్. సో ఈ మన కొత్త సలేవా డైరెక్ట్ టెస్ట్ ఏదైతే ఉందో ఇట్ కుడ్ బి done through saliva and can be easier compliance. So it is the best alternative presently and it could be allowed at home. So that is the reason why this can be a game changer in terms of the global battle against COVID-19. And one more thing is this diagnostic test also does not require the use of preservatives at sample collection and it does not require special reagents. So all these factors have in turn reduced the cost and made this an easy test to develop. So a little background on what is the types of COVID testing in India presently. Like most of you would be aware, the most common test is antibody test. So antibodies ante enti ippudu manaki foreign ఏమైనా పాథోజెనిక్ ఆర్ ఫారిన్ బాడీ ఎంటర్ అయినప్పుడు దాని సెల్ కోటింగ్ చుట్టూ ఒక యాంటీజెన్ ఉంటుంది. ఆ యాంటీజెన్ ఏదైతే ఉందో దానికి తగ్గట్టుగా మన బాడీ యాంటీబాడీస్. So by the antibody test, these are called as serological tests, we can find out the presence of a virus in a body. So this detects the quantity of antibodies that are produced by the immune system. Now, of course, this is an indirect method of testing. ఎందుకంటే we are not finding the virus, but we are finding if the immune system has encountered it. So antibodies, they can show up between 9 to 28 days after the infection. And they are fast and inexpensive and they are portable and they can be administered on site and they provide quick answers. So that is the reason it has widely proliferated. Antibody tests starting, like if you would remember in March and April, antibody tests were the norm before the RT-PCR test evolved. And through this, we see the presence of immunoglobulin M and immunoglobulin G in a sample to determine whether the virus is present or not. So a little bit of biology background ఉన్నట్టయితే మీకు we have 5 types of antibodies, immunoglobulins which are produced, which are G, A, M, E and D. Now G and M we are determining by the antibody test in to detect COVID-19. For example, you can see the antibody test. ఇప్పుడు ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఎవరైనా మీరు ఇఫ్ యూ టేకెన్ పబ్లిక్ ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ లైక్ ఇంటర్ గవర్నమెంట్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ ఫ్రమ్ ఏపీ తెలంగాణ వెళ్ళుంటే మీకు ట్రైన్ ఎక్కే ముందు యాక్చువల్లీ యాంటీబాడీ టెస్ట్ అవ్వడం జరుగుతుంది. అండ్ ఇది 15 to 30 minutesలో అయిపోద్ది. దాని కాస్ట్ ఆల్సో వెరీ లో, 450, అండ్ ఇట్స్ విజిబుల్ టు ఐ, మీకు కనిపిస్తుంది ఇక్కడ. ఇప్పుడు బ్లడ్ శాంపిల్ పెడితే చూడండి ఐజీ దీని జిఎం లెవెల్ ఎంత, ఐజీజీ లెవెల్ ఎంత, ఐజీఎం లెవెల్ ఎంత తెలుస్తుంది. సో ఇదిలా ఉండగా there are some negatives of the antibody test. Of course, it is quick and all, but it is unreliable also. 9 to 28 days ఒకటి పడుతుంది. There is a more chance of giving a false negative. So the ICMR and the rules have evolved for the RT-PCR test. So this is the nasopharyngeal route where we are taking a nasal or throat swab from a patient. So మామూలుగా ఇప్పుడు స్వాబ్లో తీసుకొని ఒక లైసిస్ బఫర్ నుంచి పెట్టి ఆర్టీపీసీఆర్ మెషిన్తో వీ కెన్ డిటర్మైన్ ది యాక్చువల్ వైరస్ ఇక్కడ. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ అ మోర్ డైరెక్ట్ మెథడ్. సో వీ ఎక్స్ట్రాక్ట్ ద ribonucleic acid, RNA, which is the genetic material of the virus. And if it shares the same genetic sequence as the SARS-CoV-2 virus, then you can say that it is positive. So this can turn negative only if the actual sample does not carry the virus or if it was not administered properly. But the downside is it is a fairly expensive method. ఎందుకంటే obviously మనకు ఒక ప్రాపర్ సెటప్ కావాలి, ఒక ఎక్స్ట్రాక్టింగ్ మెషిన్స్ కావాలి, ల్యాబ్ కావాలి, ట్రైన్ టెక్నీషియన్స్ కావాలి. And a minimum of 30 samples are needed to make it economically viable. So sometimes it can take even up to 4 hours for testing the presence of virus, and one test can cost almost 4,500 rupees. RT-PCR ఏదైతే ఉందో, and మీకు ప్రైవేట్ హాస్పిటల్స్ అయితే this cost will only go upwards. But the health ministry, because of its reliability, RT-PCR is deemed as the gold standard frontline for the COVID-19 tests, because the antibody tests have shown unreliable result. So this is the background of the present testing, and RT-PCR, as we've seen, it takes 3 to 4 hours. Then we have 2,000 to 2,500 rupees cost అవ్వచ్చు, but 4,500 వరకు వెళ్ళొచ్చు, and it can be read by a machine. So ఇవన్నిటికీ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్గా today we have seen in the front page news that according to the Yale School of Public Health, they have developed the Saliva Direct. So it's saliva avutundi, it is cheaper and it has a high sensitivity also. So we have to see how fast this new testing would be spread across the world and how soon we Indians can make use of this testing method. So that is the first article of the day. And the next article is that airlines are fighting to stay airborne. So we have been seeing for the past few months how they have been dipping the dip in resources of airlines and their cargo flights as a source of revenue, because obviously due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the travelers are not willing to take up the um, aerial travel, because if you could see from March, the number of unique passenger trips, it fell by 33%. And March 25th, the government they imposed a ban. They imposed a ban on domestic flights. 2 months varaku a ban undindi. And the flights, they resumed on May 25th, but the demand remained very low, tepid. So 21 lakh passengers traveled in July, which is just 18% of the figure if you compare with July 2019. So because of the thinning revenue and depleting cash streams, Indigo, for example, they dug into their reserves and withdrew 2,000 crore after registering a loss of 2,800 crore. Tata Sons have also extended equity to support Vistara. So basically there's a huge downside to airlines, like manam Indian economy or even AP economy lo kuda we have studied about the airline sector in the country. So akkada edaithe undo, in the last you should definitely focus on how airlines are fighting to stay airborne and how there is a severe slump in the airlines and their revenues. So the article, like for example, Mr. Kapil Kaul, he is the India CEO of CAPA, the Center for Asia Pacific Aviation. He has told that most airlines have no cash and they are totally dependent on their promoters. The financial impact is very severe and the demand risk will continue. So airlines, they have to recapitalize and fund next 2 years of operations, and without a massive recapitalization. Similarly, in a continuation, they are saying that promoters, bankers, private equity and government, they are unwilling to provide support given the demand risk and uncertainty. So the two critical elements for industry to survive are the demand and capital, and ఇవి రెండు తక్కువే అంటున్నారు. Demand is obviously reduced and the capital has also been thinning down. And one of the most important chink in the armor is that the most crucial expense, the fuel cost. అదైతే మాత్రం it has been standard and it has been very costly. Like aviation turbine fuel ఏదైతే ఉందో, which is the most important and most challenging aspect of the airlines, this has been a thorn here. So negotiating buyer prices and favorable credit terms, as well as selling and leasing back its older CEO planes, are different ways where where they are aiming to generate 3,000 to 4,000 crore. So, and idila undaga, another aspect is, if you're answering a question for the airlines industry, you should not only focus on the passenger. That is an obvious thing, and you should definitely quote some figures. But the cargo line of industry has actually performed very well until the lockdown, which was leveraged to carry essential supplies. So even with the growth of e-commerce and the rapid shopping and business mobility plans which have taken up with the growth of transport, cargo especially has been the most important strength of aviation industry. And that has also brought down very low due to the COVID pandemic. So, but of course, Mr. Datta, who is the Vistara spokesman, he's saying that we have learned valuable lessons about the demand and scope for cargo during the lockdown, and this will serve us well for augmenting operations within the months ahead. Similarly, airlines like Vistara and SpiceJet, they have also expedited plans for long-haul international routes. ఎందుకైతే మన రీపాట్రియేషన్ ఫ్లైట్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో మన ఇండియన్స్ లండన్ నుంచి వెనక్కి రావడం ఆర్ ఫారెన్ నుంచి బయటకు రావడం మన వందే భారత్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ ఏవైతే అయ్యాయో వందే భారత్ మిషన్ సో అలాంటి వాటిల్లో లాంగ్ హాల్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ ఫ్లైట్స్ని దే ఆర్ ఫోకసింగ్ బట్ ఇక్కడ కూడా దిస్ అనదర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్ that due to the bilateral agreements with select number of countries which allow only airlines of bilateral passengers to ferry passengers, this has bringing down the competition such as from Gulf carriers which would connect passengers to destination in Europe and US through their hubs in Doha and Dubai. So even in terms of the long haul international flights also there are issues. So that is the whole article. So if there's a question on airline sector, you should focus on the background which you have studied in Indian economy and how there is a passenger demand low and how there is a capital crunch and cargo ఎలా ఎఫెక్ట్ అయిందో and long haul international flights ఎలా ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యాయి. So that is the whole gist of the article. So moving on, the most important article stream for today in terms of AP current affairs and AP economy. Recently, ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే of course most of you people who are actually staying in AP and Telangana, you must have witnessed the effects of the low pressure. The last few days and last week నుంచి actually ఏదైతే పికప్ అయిందో లో ప్రెషర్ అది ఇంకా కంటిన్యూ అవుతుందని we have got the latest reports over north coastal Odisha and the northwest Bay of Bengal and Gangetic West Bengal. It has been persisting. So దీనివల్ల the cyclonic circulation it extends to 9.5 kilometers above the mean sea level, and this has been tilting southwest with height, and it will move west northward towards an Antnar. So southwest ఏదైతే ఉందో on the Bay of Bengal, for example, a fresh low pressure is likely to form over North Bay of Bengal. This is the most important takeaway from IMD. So దీనివల్ల there will be heavy rain, which the heavy rain మనకి ఈస్ట్ గోదావరి ఎక్కడైతే చూసామో కోస్టల్ ఏపీలో అండ్ థండర్ స్టార్మ్ ఏదైతే చూసామో ఇట్ విల్ లైక్లీ టు అకర్ ఎట్ ఐసోలేటెడ్ ప్లేసెస్ ఇప్పటి నుంచి. So the cyclone warning center has advised fishermen not to venture out along sea coast till August 18th. So దీనికి రిలేటెడ్ ఆర్టికల్ అండ్ ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే మనం ఇక్కడ ఈ తరగతిలో వీఆర్ clubbing all the important articles of flood. For example, this is the stream of articles about floods. So all the articles about cyclone, floods ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో అన్ని ఒక దగ్గర పెట్టాం మనం. So that make easyగా you can connect the dots. So all these articles are related to flood management, and we should have a discussion on disaster management. So from this article, this takeaway is the officials have issued the third warning with the flood level in Godavari touching 55 feet at Bhadrachalam by 7 p.m. and the water level might increase further, the Central Water Commission officials have said. So there are factual information, but the most important is it has touched 55 feet at Bhadrachalam. And other like the National Disaster Response Force, the State Disaster Response Force and police teams are pressed into service, according to the AP State Disaster Management Authority officials. And in the next article, we can see that 50 villages have already bore the brunt of West Godavari. Like water has entered the tribal hamlets in Polavaram and other mandals. So about 50 villages in agency area and other mandals in the West Godavari have been cut off from the rest of the world due to the floods and incessant rains అంటున్నారు. Introductory piece of art information. So it has entered tribal hamlets in Verulapadu, Polavaram, Kukunur mandals. ఇక్కడ ట్రైబల్ హ్యామ్లెట్స్ ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయి అండ్ రోడ్ లింక్స్ హ్యావ్ బిన్ కట్ ఆఫ్. అందుకే మనం ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లడ్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ అండ్ ద ఎఫెక్ట్స్ చూస్తే వన్ ఆఫ్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లడింగ్ ఇస్ ద ట్రాన్స్పోర్ట్ అండ్ కమ్యూనికేషన్ నెట్వర్క్స్ ఆర్ కట్ ఆఫ్. ఇక్కడ కూడా అలాగే రోడ్ లింక్స్ కట్ ఆఫ్ అయిపోయాయి ట్రైబల్ హ్యామ్లెట్స్ నుంచి. అండ్ ఐటీడీఏ ఏదైతే ఉందో మన ఇంటిగ్రేటెడ్ ట్రైబల్ డెవలప్మెంట్ ఏజెన్సీ and revenue and police officials have arranged boats for shifting the families staying in riverside habitats. So communication have also been snapped in these villages, Koruturu, Gadalpalli, ilant villages lo, and basically the transport and communication system have been cut off. And the Honorable Chief Minister Y.S. Jaganmohan Reddy has asked the officials to evacuate the residents in the low-lying areas facing inundation threat. So reviewing the flood situation, he has told that the victims would be provided with all basic amenities, and he also informed that people living in the flood hit areas had been shifted to safer destination and other measures were being taken. And similarly, they said that the administrations of East and West Godavari district have been instructed to be on high alert because these are the core areas they expect చేస్తున్నారు. And the CM has wanted the officials to focus on impact of flood in the low-lying areas and measures should be taken on war footing. And the CM has also asked officials to coordinate with disaster response force to carry out the rescue and rehabilitation efforts. And he also inquired about the situation arising out of torrential rains in Krishna district ఏదైతే మనం చూస్తున్నాం ఆ torrential rains and వీటిని ఎలా మీట్ అవ్వాలో కూడా మీటింగ్లో డిస్కస్ అయింది. సో బేసికలీ దిస్ అన్ ఆన్గోయింగ్ ఇష్యూ, ఇప్పుడు చూడాలి ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లడ్స్ అండ్ ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ ఎలా డెవలప్ అవుతుందో అండ్ ద డిజాస్టర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ వీ కెన్ టేక్. అండ్ ఈ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్లో the most important takeaway for us is reading floods about and their disaster management. You can definitely expect a question in AP Group 1 examination about floods. Disaster management manaki paper 2 lo undi, geography lo. Similarly, paper 4 lo undi, economy lo it can be covered. And most importantly, paper 5 lo disaster management has been clearly mentioned under the environment part. So flood ఏదైతే ఉందో, as you would be aware, it is an overflow of a large amount of water beyond its normal range. This could be by heavy rainfall, inadequate capacity of rivers to carry high flood discharge, inadequate drainage to carry away the rainwater quickly, and landslides. ఇప్పుడు landslides అయినా earth movements అయినా కూడా బ్లాక్ అయిపోతాయి streams. సో అలాంటి సిచ్యుయేషన్లు కూడా అవ్వచ్చు. And typhoons and cyclones also cause floods. So the flood hazard is compounded by the problems of sediment deposition, drainage congestion, and synchronization of river floods with the sea tides in the coastal plains. So this is the background of floods, their causes, and idella complicate avachu. For disaster management in India, regarding floods, at the national level, we have two schemes. The first is the National Flood Risk Mitigation Project, which is basically mitigation or reduction in risk, severity, and consequence of floods. And the main aim is to ensure that arrangements are in place to mobilize the resources and capability for relief, rehabilitation, reconstruction, and recovery. So ఇది ఒక జనరల్ స్కీమ్ ఫర్ మిటిగేషన్. అంటే మనకి ఫ్లడ్ అయ్యే ముందే మనం ఎలా రిస్క్ ఎలా రెడ్యూస్ చేయగలం అండ్ ఈవెన్ అయ్యాక కూడా రిలీఫ్, రీహాబిలిటేషన్, రీకన్స్ట్రక్షన్ ఎలా చేయగలం ఒక కాంప్రిహెన్సివ్ ప్రోగ్రామ్. ఇప్పుడు మనం డిజాస్టర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్లో ఎలా చూస్తామంటే మనం ఫస్ట్ మిటిగేట్ చేస్తాము అండ్ ఫ్లడ్ వస్తే దాన్ని ఎలా how do we arrange for relief, rehabilitation, then how do we adapt. So that cycle of disaster management goes on. And the scheme, the next scheme is the flood management program. So this provides a financial assistance to state governments for undertaking flood management works. So ఇప్పుడు ఏపీలో ఇప్పుడు ఫ్లడ్ వచ్చే సూచనలు గట్టిగా ఉన్నాయి కాబట్టి the flood management program would be mobilized, by which a financial assistance will be given to the states. So please remember both of these programs, they're very important. And of course, from a GS point of view to answer, we should also mention the structural and non-structural measures. Like structural ఏంటి, మనం embankments కట్టచ్చు, flood walls, sea walls, and dams, reservoirs, natural detention bases, అలాగే ఛానల్ ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్, డ్రైనేజ్ ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్ అండ్ డైవర్షన్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్లడ్ వాటర్స్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇవి స్ట్రక్చరల్ ఇంప్రూవ్మెంట్స్. బట్ నాన్ స్ట్రక్చరల్ కూడా ఉన్నాయి. దట్ యూ షుడ్ ఫోకస్ అండ్ యాక్చువల్లీ ఎలాబొరేట్ ఆన్ దీస్. Basically, because I'm just revising the concept for you. I've just mentioned here, like there would be a flood forecasting, floodplain zoning, flood fighting, flood proofing, and flood insurance. So ఇలాంటి నాన్ స్ట్రక్చరల్ మెషర్స్ కూడా చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. So that is the gist of the whole article. So we have we should focus on the introduction to floods, what are the government efforts taken, and what are the structural and non-structural measures for flood protection, especially in India. So let us see the next article where this is again a very specific for AP current affairs and very important also for AP economy, where the tribal university ఏదైతే ఉందో, like are you aware where the tribal university of Andhra Pradesh is? Yes, it is in Vijayanagaram district in AP. So basically what happened was after the AP Reorganization Act, మన 13th schedule అనుగుణంగా, the Ministry of Human Resources MHRD has sanctioned for the Central Tribal University of AP in Relli village, Vijayanagaram district. So basically it has been allotted in Relli village, Vijayanagaram district. And ఇప్పుడు మన కరెంట్ అఫైర్స్లో ఉన్నది ఏంటంటే, BJP state president Somu Veeraraju, he has demanded that the government should drop the plan to shift the Central Tribal University from ఇప్పుడు ప్రెసెంట్లీ మన క్లోజ్ టు భోగపురం ఏదైతే ఉందో, కొట్టకి ఒక రిమోట్ విలేజ్ ఇన్ పార్వతీపురం డిస్ట్రిక్ట్, అక్కడి నుంచి షిఫ్ట్ చేయడానికి చేస్తున్నారు. సో basically, I mean, don't get stuck in the political aspect, who has told BJP, TDP and all, but ముందు మనకి during the previous government, it has been allotted 500 acres near Bhogapuram for the university. But ఇప్పుడు YSRCP government, they are seeking to shift the location far off from the airport at Bhogapuram to an area in the tribal area. ఎందుకంటే because it's a tribal university, it should be in the tribal area అని debate బట్టి they are seeking to shift it. But the critics, they are saying that the university ఏదైతే ఉందో, it would offer courses not only to tribal life but also to many others. So it should be located at a place convenient for students as well as the teaching and other stuff. So if presently they're seeking to shift somewhere close to Koraput in Odisha. అంటే ఇదంతా విజయనగరంలోనే అవుతుంది. బట్ ఈ విలేజ్ ఏదైతే ఉందో, మనం భోగపురం నుంచి ఇప్పుడు కోరాపుట్ దగ్గరికి పెడుతున్నారు, ఇదంతా ఇట్ దిస్ ఇస్ గెటింగ్ స్టక్ ఇన్ అన్ యాంగిల్. అండ్ దేర్ have been demands to shift the tribal university. So this is again an ongoing development and you should be very well aware of this development. And finally ఎలా తేలుతుందో మీరు, we should actually track this in the coming days. But this news is very important. The Central Tribal University has been located in Vijayanagaram district and the 13th schedule and the AP Reorganization Act. So fulfillment of promises దగ్గర వస్తుంది మనకి AP economy లో. Similarly, even for AP Group 1 or Group 2 prelims ఏవి ఉందో, this is a very important factual information. And the next again is very important for ABPSC is the Andhra Pradesh MedTech Zone. ఏంటిది? AMTZ, it is actually a medical devices manufacturing park which is set up near Vizag in AP, and it is set up by the government of Andhra Pradesh. In 2016 lo it has established, and the main aim is for research and development institutions and testing labs as well as incubation center for startup companies. So there's incubation center for startup companies also. This point shouldn't be missed. And it currently houses the Bio Valley Incubation Council, which is funded by the Department of Biotechnology and the KIHT, the Kalam Institute of Health Technology. And in April 2020, the AMTZ has started making rapid testing kits for COVID-19, and it is planned to start manufacture of ventilators also. So when we discuss, the health sector in AP or in under the paper 4 or paper 5 law, the first part where we have the state government institutions regarding science and technology, this is very important. And it is located in the Nadupuru village area of Vizag, and close to Visakhapatnam steel plant ఏదో దాని దగ్గర, actually పక్కనే వైజాగ్ స్టీల్ ప్లాంట్ పక్కనే AP మెట్రిక్ జోన్ పెట్టారు. It is over 270 acres and it is proposed to have 200 to 250 pre-built manufacturing units. So it's a huge infrastructure there. And ఇవాల్టి న్యూస్లో వచ్చింది దీనికి రిలేటెడ్ ఏంటంటే, in wake of the pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic, the AP MedTech zone has inked a pact with the UK government. So as per the MOU, the UK-India Tech Partnership Program ఏదైతే July 31st చేశారో, innovative Indian medtech startups are invited to apply by August 31st to be part of the 5.6 million manufacturing support program. So the selected startups, they'll be hosted at the AMTZ Medi Valley Incubation Center. So this is another incubation center in AP Medtech, and it'll be hosted there. And వాళ్ళకి కావాల్సిన financial, technical and infrastructure support will be given. So this will boost the medtech collaboration between the countries, between UK companies and AMTZ manufacturing testing facilities. And this fight needs a global response. అందుకనే COVID-19 fight ఏదైతుందో it would require a global response. So the collaboration with the AMTZ facility, Visakhapatnam, is very good. And Andrew Fleming, he's a British Deputy High Commissioner to AP and Telangana, he has told. So that is the current affairs part of it. But if there's a question in the health sector or for the science and technology part, this should be very important. And ఈ ఆర్టికల్లో కూడా కొంచెం బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ ఇచ్చారు. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఏపీ ఏఎంటీజెడ్ అనేది ఇట్స్ అన్ ఎంటర్ప్రైజ్ అండర్ ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఏపీ, అండ్ ఇట్ హెస్ రిజర్వ్డ్ 1 lakh square feet rent-free space for startups to facilitate quick commercialization of successful solutions. And this is contracted by the Government of India for manufacturing ventilators, other essential medical equipment like masks, PPEs, testing kits, and so on. So this is the whole aspect of AMTZ. I would advise you to take a screenshot of the whole slide because this is important and this is more or less comprehensive also. To answer any question in AMTZ, ఇంత ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీ దగ్గర ఉంటే సరిపోతుంది. So next, let us see the national editorials. Like yesterday, day before yesterday, when the Independence Day speech ఏదైతే అయిందో 15th August 74th Independence Day ki, it was the 7th consecutive one where the Prime Minister, he has reassured the nation for the twin challenges of COVID-19 pandemic and external aggression. So he has used his oratorial skills where he has mentioned menstrual hygiene. ఇప్పుడు మీరు స్పీచ్ చూస్తుంటే అయితే this has gained a lot of traction. That the speech he has mentioned menstrual hygiene to encourage health workers to be more attentive to issue and create awareness. Similarly, sanitation, Swachh Bharat, access to drinking water, and Jal Jeevan Mission pen he has talked about it, where Jal Jeevan Mission ఏంటండి to provide piped drinking water to every home. Jal Jeevan Mission. This is different from the Jal Kranti Abhiyan, which is a water conservation mission. This Jal Jeevan Mission is important for the piped drinking water. Similarly, internet, mana banking, cooking gas, and some slogans he has given like vocal for local, self-reliance, Atmanirbhar Bharat, make in India to make for the world, and all such things he has told. Of course, this editorial has been critical that many aspects are glossed over, but this is the gist of the speech. And some criticality because it's of course a Hindu newspaper and there is some center to left tinge, but the Prime Minister has promised to bring a new revolution like National Digital Health Mission, which will give every Indian a digital health ID. And but of course there are shortcoming that abject lack of primary health లేదు మనకి. matlab digitalization is welcome, but it is no substitute for inadequate human resources అని editorial లో అంటున్నారు. And Mr. Modi has also reiterated his vision for India in relation to the world, a tightrope walk for promoting import substitution and seeking global partnerships, and India's success in attracting FDI and self-reliance. And he mentioned Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is the world is one family, and India's guiding principle ani annaru. So all of this is part of the speech. But there is some criticism, like I have told, like they have told that digitalization ella problem avutundi and rhetoric in this speech, and construction of Ram temple has support of most political parties, and it's mentioned did not address the concerns regarding what it portends for India's future and such things. So that is the gist of the Independence Day speech. Similarly, the contempt of court issue ఏదైతే అవుతుందో, this we have done exclusively and comprehensively entirely in the 15th August video మీరు ఏదైతే చూసారో. దానిలో మనం కంటెంప్ట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్ట్ అంటే ఏంటి, అసలు ప్రశాంత్ భూషణ్ కేసులో ఎలా అయింది అది, అది కంటెంప్ట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్ట్ యాక్ట్ 1971లో ఎలా జరిగింది, అలాంటివన్నీ మనం చూసాము. ఇప్పుడు జడ్జ్మెంట్ వచ్చినప్పటి నుంచి మనకి బేసికలీ a lot of criticism on the judgment has been coming up. Like here also in the editorial, they are saying that it reflects a low threshold for criticism. Like the Supreme Court's order finding advocate Prashant Bhushan guilty of contempt of court is basically showing poorly on institutions, on the Supreme Court's tolerance of criticism. So the judgment on the suo motu contempt proceedings against Mr. Bhushan, it does not add to the dignity and majesty of the court. So it is very unfortunate. This article has criticized. Like I have already told this in the previous video, like that on the tweet lo basically, Mr. Prashant Bhushan, he has tweeted an image of the Chief Justice of India, S.A. Bobde, sitting on a motorbike, Harley Davidson motorbike పైన కూర్చొని అతని ఒక పిక్ తీయడం జరిగింది. అండ్ దానికి హీ హెస్ ట్వీటెడ్ దట్ దేర్ ఇస్ అంటే మన ఈ COVID-19 పాండమిక్ టైంలో కూడా మన సిజిఐ చూడండి ఎలా చేస్తున్నారు అన్నట్టు పిక్ పెట్టారు. బట్ దానివల్లే మనకి ఇప్పుడు కంటెంప్ట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్ట్ ఇవ్వడం జరిగింది ప్రశాంత్ భూషణ్ పైన. But the criticism says that it is quite a stretch to say that it undermines the court's dignity. At best, it touches partially on the CJ's personal conduct and partially on his administrative decision making. But this is not criminal contempt అని అంటున్నారు. మనం చూసాం సివిల్ కంటెంప్ట్ ఒకటి ఉంటుంది, క్రిమినల్ కంటెంప్ట్ ఉంటుంది. సివిల్ కంటెంప్ట్ ఏంటి, ఇప్పుడు మీరు ఏమైనా అంటే సుప్రీంకోర్టుని ఏమైనా అనడం ఆర్ ఫాలో అవ్వకపోవడం సివిల్ కంటెంప్ట్ అవుతుంది. బట్ క్రిమినల్ కంటెంప్ట్ ఇస్ టు some scandalously, if you're trying to demote the position of Supreme Court, or if you're physically obstructing the justice, administrative justice, అది criminal contempt అవుతుంది. And the second tweet lo kuda Prashant Bhushan has told that last 4 CJIs, they have particularly aided in the destruction of democracy in last 6 years, even without a formal emergency. And దీనికి డిఫెన్స్ అక్కర్లేదని ఎడిటోరియల్ అంటున్నారు. It is clearly in nature of political opinion, be it with reference to working of institution or 4 personages who headed the judiciary during the period అంటున్నారు. So basically the whole article focuses on a criticism on the contempt of court proceedings. I'm actually afraid that Hindu మీద కూడా contempt of court పెట్టడం అవ్వచ్చేమో సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ నుంచి, because last few days నుంచి we have been seeing a swathe of articles on how the Supreme Court's position has been undermined here. But in conclusion, they are saying that if at all it falls in the estimation of the world now, it may only be because of growing perception of judicial evasion, self-imposed reticence, and quiet acquiescence in the face of executive power. So this is very good sentence and important for vocabulary also. ఇప్పుడు ఒక perception వస్తుంది that judiciary is evading its primary responsibility. Reticence అంటే not taking up things. So this is self-imposed reticence and quiet acquiescence in the face of executive power. So మనకి separation of powers ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో దాంట్లో executive power has been taking over precedence over the judicial functions అని అంటున్నారు. So again, this is a very severe article. So I would advise discretion upon your part. You should be aware of what is contempt of court and what are the constitutional article. Basically, ఇప్పుడు మన కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్ యాజ్ సచ్ లో కంటెంప్ట్ ఆఫ్ కోర్ట్ ప్రాపర్లీ మెన్షన్ లేదు, బట్ ఇట్ has been expanded under the Contempt of Court Act 1971. The civil contempt ఏంటి, criminal contempt ఏంటి, and ఈ ప్రశాంత్ భూషణ్ కేసు you can quote, and criticism and a way forward. అంత ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మనకుంటే సరిపోతుంది. But it's an important issue and should be very well with the background information. I would actually suggest you to watch the 15th August video if you haven't watched, where we dealt with this issue in depth. So the next article is basically a check type of article on the COVID situation. ఇప్పుడు మనం న్యూ కేసెస్ ఏదైతే చూసామో 57,000 న్యూ కేసెస్ అయ్యాయి. సో 7 డేలో మనది 8.2% చేంజ్ అయింది, అండ్ డెత్ రేట్ కూడా +4.4 అయింది 7 డే చేంజ్లో. సో 1 డేలో 57,000 అయ్యి, అండ్ అఫ్ కోర్స్ డైలీ వస్తుంది స్ట్రెచ్, బట్ ఐ ఫౌండ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ హియర్ బికాస్ VK Paul. VK Paul ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో ఈస్ అన్ member of the central government's COVID-19 response team. So he has told, like, basically many people, బయట కూడా మీరు మాట్లాడుతుంటే కేసెస్ తగ్గుతున్నాయా పెరుగుతున్నాయా హర్డ్ ఇమ్యూనిటీ వచ్చిందా అవన్నిటికీ ఇది ఒక ఇన్ఫార్మ్డ్ ఆర్టికల్ బికాస్ దే ఆర్ సేయింగ్ దట్ 50,000 డెత్స్ ఇవన్నాయి కదా బట్ డాక్టర్ పాల్ హ్యాస్ బిన్ సేయింగ్ దట్ దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ ద టైమ్ టు లోవర్ అవర్ గార్డ్ సో వీ షుడ్ ఫాలో సేఫ్ బిహేవియర్ ఎవ్రీ మూమెంట్ ఎవ్రీ టైమ్. So India has done so well so far despite such a large population, and our ability to fight this battle is even stronger now. Because చూడండి ఇక్కడ ఒక important analysis is given, such a good analysis. మన India, it registered its first death due to virus on March 13th. And 25,000 cases అవ్వడానికి July 16th అయింది. March 13th నుంచి July 16th వరకు July 16th వరకు మనకి 25,000 కేసెస్ అయ్యాయి. అండ్ ఇప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఇంకొక 1 monthలో మళ్ళీ 25,000 కేసెస్ అయిపోయి. సో మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవచ్చు ఎంత ఫాస్ట్గా వైరస్ ఇది వికృతి చెందుతుందో. సో ఇవి రెండింటి చూడండి మీరు ఇంత గ్యాప్లో 25,000 అయింది, మళ్ళీ ఇంత గ్యాప్లో మళ్ళీ 25,000 అయింది. సో ఇలాంటి టైంలో వీ షుడెంట్ లోవర్ అవర్ గ్రౌండ్. And India's large population is fodder for the virus. So what we have understood till now, it cannot be controlled, stopped, or prevented. All we can do is slow its spread. So that is our aim. And the speed of growth, it depends partly on how many importations occur. Like we have obviously had very few compared to US and Brazil, but we may surpass that. And another aspect is growth of infection is spread by asymptomatic patients. So the pandemic seems to be following the same path like 2009 pandemic influenza. So it is traveling from large cities like Delhi, Bombay, Ahmedabad to small cities. And but advantage ఏంటంటే మనకి relatively young population ఉంది. Like ఇండియాలో 65% are less than 35 years. This is an important figure whenever you want to quote about youth, less than 35 years మనకి ఇండియాలో. సో ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్లో మనకు ఒక అడ్వాంటేజ్ అయితే ఉంది, బట్ వరల్డ్ ఓవర్ 100% పీపుల్ ఆర్ గెటింగ్ ఇట్ అండ్ ద ట్రెండ్ ఇస్ ఎవిడెంట్ ఇన్ ఇండియా ఆల్సో. 100% అందరికీ రావట్లేదు. సో ఈ టైంలో వీ షుడ్ నాట్ లోవర్ అ గార్డ్ అండ్ వీ షుడ్ strengthen the lockdown measures and ensure all human interactions are undertaken wearing a mask. And they have also told that Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Delhi, West Bengal, Karnataka and other states have the maximum caseload. So we are moving towards completing 3 crore COVID tests. ఇప్పటివరకు 2,93 lakh tests అవ్వడం జరిగింది. 3 crore అవుతుంది. So this article basically brings you up to date with all the events around COVID-19 pandemic. It's a good article. You should understand the figures and such factual information you can keep in mind. And the next article is the Naga peace process lo edaithe ayindho, which we have discussed again the 15th August. Ade information ni they have again quoted here saying that the NSC and IM, the Nagaland Socialist Council of the Nationalist Socialist Council of Nagaland, Isaac Moga, they have told that after Naga interlocutor R.N. Ravi, okay, ప్రాబ్లమాటిక్గా తయారైన పీస్ ప్రాసెస్ అంటున్నారు. సో ఇవాల్టి కరెంట్ అఫైర్లో ఏం యాడ్ అయిందంటే పిఎం నరేంద్ర మోదీ హ్యాస్ మ్యాండేటెడ్ అ టీమ్ ఆఫ్ ఐబీ టు ఫాస్ట్ ట్రాక్ ద కమ్యూనికేషన్, క్లియర్ ద పెండింగ్ ఇష్యూస్. అంతే, ఇదే యాడ్ అయింది. మిగతా అంతా మనకు యాక్చువల్లీ తెలిసిందే. మనం August 15th వీ హ్యావ్ డిస్కస్ దిస్ ఇన్ డెప్త్. ద హిస్టారికలీ అసలు నాగా ఇష్యూ ఏంటి, ఎన్ఎస్సిఎన్ ఏంటి, ఎన్ఎన్పిజీలు ఏంటి, and how the 2015 agreement evolved. Here also there is a brief overview of the article which you can read, but we have already done this in depth. The most important part I feel is the 2015th agreement. దానిలో ఏమైందంటే they have told that the center and the Nagaland, they would share the sovereign power and provide for enduring inclusive new relationship of peaceful coexistence. బేసికలీ మనకి 2015లో అయ్యింది, పబ్లిక్ డొమైన్లో రాలేదు, కానీ ఇప్పుడు రీసెంట్లీ ఎన్ఎస్సిఐఎన్ పబ్లిక్ డొమైన్లో పెట్టారు. And they have told that the center recognized the sovereignty of Nagas when it signed the 2015 agreement. And another important thing is in 2017, Mr. Ravi, he's actually the governor and he's the interlocutor in rendu groups madhila. He included more Naga groups within the fold, like some moderate groups like the Naga nationalist political groups. So they support India and they actually support Mr. Ravi, and they demand that the final peace pact would be signed soon. But the NSCN ఏదైతే ఉందో they have been fighting over Greater Nagaland or Nagaland, which is basically Naga dominated areas in Assam, Manipur and Arunachal Pradesh. So that is the article. But I would again advise you to please watch the 15th August video if you haven't watched, because that basically deals with the entire issue in proper depth. So the last article for today is there's basically a growing demand that President Trump should pardon Snowden, because a lot of people think he's not being treated fairly. As I hope most of you are aware, Edward Snowden basically he was a former US National Security Agent's contractor who had leaked several information about US intelligence community in 2013, sorry. So he had he had faced a criminal trial on espionage charges in 2013 because he leaked secret US documents, and he fled US and he got asylum, and he was given asylum in Russia because he leaked a lot of secret files regarding CIA, FBI and other agencies to news organizations and WikiLeaks, where ఎలా వీళ్ళు వాస్ట్ డొమెస్టిక్ అండ్ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ సర్వేలెన్స్ ఏదైతే అయ్యిందో ఎన్ఎస్ఏతో అది లీక్ అవ్వడం జరిగింది త్రూ ఎడ్వర్డ్ స్నోడెన్. But critics have told that he was actually acting not only in interest of American citizens but in interest of all humankind. So that is the reason why Trump, Mr. President Donald Trump, he has been giving hints that there are a lot of people who think that Edward Snowden is not being treated fairly, and he will look into it. So this basically represents a soft stance towards him, and వాడిని spy అనట్లేదు. And Trump has also actually criticized past leaders of intelligence community in FBI, and he took aim at the present FBI director Christopher Wray also. So I'm talking politics, US politics basically, but this is important because he pardoned Snowden.org movement ఏదైతే అవుతుందో, this might see its logical conclusion. This is actually important because UPSC GS4లో before last year 2018లో case study ఇచ్చారు, direct case study about the Snowden situation. So you should be aware of it, the ethical dilemma and the ethical part of it, and ఇప్పుడు current affairsలో దీని relevance ఏంటో. So that's it. That is the end of today's discussion on the daily Hindu newspaper analysis by Hitaragati. Hope you got a good coverage about the entire Hindu newspaper, and we can certainly vouch ఇవాల్టి పేపర్లో దీనికి మించిన ఆర్టికల్స్, ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఆర్టికల్స్ లేవు మన గ్రూప్ 1, గ్రూప్ 2 అండ్ యూపీఎస్సికి సంబంధించినవి. సో మీరు ఈ వీడియో చూసి either స్క్రీన్షాట్స్ తీసినా మీరు ఓన్ నోట్స్ తీసుకున్నా, this would be sufficient and very important for your exam preparation. So do like, share and subscribe the video if you liked it, and thank you so much for watching. We shall meet tomorrow with tomorrow's newspaper. Thank you so much.